describing what is currently the dumbest strategy in politics, which is Democrats taking the 20% side of every 80-20 issue in America. USAID, people want this pared down. They want it streamlined. They want to know where the money is going. Democrats have a meltdown. Today, Donald Trump signs executive order on keeping boys out of girls' sports. Democrats take the 20 side of that issue as well. All these issues, this is like Trump's superpower, finding a bunch of 80-20 issues, getting on the 80, and everybody who's sort of reflexively against him gets on the 20. And now the Democratic Party has like a 31% approval rating. This is why.
I don't know.
Why is the Democratic Party viewed as toxic by so many? Like, even people inside the party acknowledge that.
I think their primary currency was shaming and scolding and talking down to people and telling them, hey, I know better than you, or you're dopes, or you're a bro, or you're ignorant, or, don't you, how can you be this dumb? I can't imagine it. Like, and then, by the way, they're fascists. How can you vote for that? And, when you're in a state like Pennsylvania, like, I know and I love people that voted for Trump, and they're not fascists. They don't support insurrection and those things. And if you go to an extreme and you become a boutique kind of a proposition, then you're going to lose the argument, and then we have done that. When I show up at like a working site, I can all but guarantee you, if they're politically engaged, who they vote for, why they would vote there, and they just think they want to identify with people that seem to be looking out for me. Or for me, I described the 24 election was not about obscure kinds of policies. It's a gut check kind of vote. And they are going to ask themselves, who is going to protect or project my personal view of the American way of life? And who's the better match for what I believe is the American way of life? And I'm going to vote for that person. And that's why I think Trump won.
John Fetterman might be the Democrats' only hope at some semblance of a comeback. As you saw from the intro, I showed you Scott Jennings' astute analysis, how Donald Trump instinctively goes for the most popular position, and he knows that Democrats are going to reactively go against it. Trump can say 2 + 2 = 4, and everyone is like, oh my God, it does it. Immediately, the Democrats will just take the opposite contrarian position just to be opposed to who? Donald Trump. Donald Trump is running the Democratic Party. Tell me I'm lying in the comment section. I'll wait. I'm waiting. Donald Trump runs the Democratic Party. You know why? Because all Donald Trump has to do is men should not play in women's sports. Democrats will instinctively, reactively go against him because they don't want to be on the same side of Trump. And Trump, this is why I say Trump uses his adversity as a superpower. And Fetterman has been warning Democrats, yo, stop doing this or you're going to lose this key demographic forever. As you saw from the intro in the interview with this reporter, you got a glimpse of some of his answers. And I legitimately think if I take what I think is best for conservatives out of it, I'm looking at it from an American point of view. America will be a lot better if Democrats operate in the world of reality. And right now, they're not operating in the world of reality. Here's a warning that Fetterman tried to give Democrats, I think a couple months ago during the election cycle.
What posture do you think the party should be adopting? How can the Democratic Party really deal with what has become a very, very divisive issue within it?
Well, we had to address it. I said that it's like, why is it controversial to say that we're going to need a secure border? And when you started looking at the numbers that were showing up, and at some month, it was the population of Pittsburgh showing up at the border in a month. Well, if, we want their own American dream, and we would want to provide everyone's American dream. That's the promise of immigrants. But what happens to all of them? How can they be okay? And so, that's a real issue. Democrats can't stop, trying to tell people, don't believe your eyes. Don't believe your eyes. It's going to be okay. It's all working out. It's not. It's like, and I'm the most pro immigration guy there is. But that has to be compatible with we have a secure border. And I will never listen to anyone's other side until you can explain, like, how do we take care of them? Where do those resources come from? And where do they go? Nobody could provide a serious answer to that.
it keeps getting worse for Democrats. As you saw from the intro, John Fetterman's point was Democrats pretend as if Americans don't have eyes, and the Democrats' brand, the Democrats' proposition is don't believe anything that you see or hear. Believe what we tell you, the Democratic Party tells you. When Republicans are on, when Elon Musk, Donald Trump, many people are pointing out how essentially U.S. aid was being used to funnel and push left-wing worldview onto the American people, leftist ideology onto the American people. Musk says that his Doge team uncovered $100 billion in Medicare and Medicaid waste after gaining access to the system. This is where the big money fraud is happening. Americans agree with this stuff. Americans want the information to be audited. In a revelation, or in a bombshell revelation that could shake up the foundation of American healthcare, Elon Musk, leading the charge under Donald Trump's newly minted Doge, has described that he has uncovered $100 billion in taxpayer money wasted by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. This stuff, $100 billion on taxpayer money being wasted. Elon Musk and Doge are getting ready to audit the CMC, and they have only access, but they have only read access, but will be able to identify fraud, waste, and abuse. CMS has 6,000 employees and dispensed $1.5 trillion in 2024, 22% of the budget. This is what American people voted for. And I like the Democrats. This is the funny part about the Democrats. Currently, the Democrats are outraging about Elon Musk. They saying, no one voted for Elon Musk. No one voted for Elon Musk. And then an astute conservative will point back and say, who voted for Kamala Harris during the primaries? Ooh, Democrats are quiet there. Everyone is realizing this about the Democratic Party. Make no mistakes, the Dems are freaking out over Elon and U.S. aid racket because this has been a blank check book for them for years to fund far-left ideological groups and agendas. How does this benefit the American people? It goes back to the segment that I showed you with John Fetterman. John Fetterman is warning his party, yo, you can't cover this. You can't tell the American people not to see or hear what they're hearing right now. You expect the American people to work in your interest as a party, Democrats, over their own interests. That's never going to happen. They'll die on this hill because everything the left does is a scam, a lie, and a grift. Nothing. This is contributing to the toxic brand of the Democratic Party. You want to complain about Elon Musk. No one voted for Elon Musk, but no one voted for Kamala Harris during the primaries. You're a pot calling the kettle black. When you do it, it's fine, right? You're obstructing Donald Trump's pick for Office of Management and Budget, if I remember correctly, Management and Budget. You spent an all-nighter just to complain about a guy. Because this guy, Russell Volt, is poised to work alongside Doge. He's going to make Doge even more efficient. Democrats, Biden paid $5 billion to an unnamed foreign source and nobody knows where it went. You think America will be happy with Democrats protecting institutions that is sending fraudulent money, and we already know a lot of this money has been used to help far-left activist groups? This is the toxic brand of the Democratic Party. Democrats panic as Trump and Musk dismantle U.S. aid corrupt empire. I'm going to do a whole live stream on this because this needs to be said. The American people are with Trump, not the Democrats. Let's be clear. Nobody cares what the Democrats think anymore. The latest polling shows that their approval rating has tanked to a humiliating 31%, while Trump is enjoying the highest approval rating of his career. The people have enough of their nonsense. Democrats are out of touch here. And the only sensible guy that is saying anything that could get them back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. The only person that can make them touch grass is this guy right here who recovered from a brain aneurysm? I forgot what health condition he faced. Man recovering from brain damage. And he's able to see clearly what the Democrats were supposed to learn from the 2024 election. It was a gut check. Did they realize anything from it? No. They're doubling down, tripling down. You got black women on CNN crying about how she's the least paid person, but she's the most educated. Might make a video on that. I don't know. But this is the crap that they're doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on. And they wonder why they're in the... It's baffling to me. This fake virtue, this fakeness from the Democrats. It's what cost them to lose in the first place. And I've been warning, but I don't got a big platform, so they don't listen to me. But people who's been watching me, they've been seeing what I'm seeing. I'm an independent voter. I'm not necessarily aligned with either party, but I go with what works. I'm a very pragmatic voter. I'm a very pragmatic person in general. And I go with what works. I look at the outcomes Donald Trump had. I look at the outcomes that Democrats gave me, and I'm like, it's not working. And they want to sit here preaching that you want to do something about the border when I see all the political incentives, all the economic incentives for you to maintain the status quo. And you think if I want to change that, I will vote for a Democrat? I digress. Let's wrap up with this segment from John Fetterman, and I'll wrap up with my final thoughts.
That's why I think Trump won. And then, like, for example, the new leadership of the DNC, the vice chair, abolish ICE. And now the other thing saying, defund the police and those things. I'm concerned that we really haven't paid attention on what happened. And have we looked up at the scoreboard and been like, oh, by the way, we've lost.
The Democrats are a team that after they scored a point 2 times in a row, they're talking trash to the team. And all the Republicans do is point at the scoreboard. You're down 30. You're down 30. You bragging about me. You bragging about scoring back to back. You're down 30. This is what the Democrats are doing. I got to bring it back to real life. Democrats is that guy on the team that he was getting smoked the entire game. Then he gets 2 good plays on you, and he's talking junk to you. And you're looking at this guy like, I've been destroying you the whole game. You get 2 cool moments, and now you all that. Now you think you all that? Look at the scoreboard. Democrats are arrogant. Democrats are insane. This is insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And this was one thing I pleaded with the American people. And it looked like the American people came to the same conclusion I came to. That if you want something different, you got to try something different. You can't reward a party that got you into this mess and listen to them to think that they can bail you out of the mess. Nah, usually the guy who put you in the mess can't really bail you out of the mess. And I think this is what the American people are understanding. And the Democrats, y'all better start coming back down to common sense. Because the worst thing, and then I'll go back into the video, the worst thing the Democrats ever did was conceding common sense to be a right-wing ideology. I digress.
Lost.
How do Democrats win back white men like yourself?
I don't know. And truthfully, I'm not sure if that's possible, to be honest. I think that's been seriously eroding for a while. And
not only white men, masculine men. There's now a perception that people might look at you weird. Like, I'm speaking, this is only anecdotally. Don't take this as me being a bigot or anything like that. This is only my antidote. But the only people that I know that votes Democrats, they're gay men. That's it. The only people I know in my little network, in my community, right? In my suburb that I live in, the only ones I know for sure that vote Democrat are gay men. They're both gay. So that is a perception. If you're a man and you vote Democrat, people are going to assume you funny. Unless you're a black man. Then they be like, I digress. Let's continue.
In some cases, in the conversations I've had, a lot of people, they don't even want to say it publicly, but they just feel like, the other side seems like it's like men, that men's the problem. Men are to blame. Or their masculinity is toxic. Or unless you're able to conform to our very strict kinds of definition of what we think's appropriate, well then, hey, I'm going to find an alternative, and they've done that. That's absolutely true. And once we've kind of turned their back on that demographic, it's going to be difficult to rebuild and replace that with those voters, because I think that migration has been ongoing phenomenon for several years, and that was been in front and center, in part of the election in 24.
And this is one of the reasons why Democrats focus so hard on race and identity. They trying to make this, black people don't vote Democrat, black people don't vote Republican, because they're trying to categorize people. Because if the moment all the identity groups recognize themselves as an American first, that's what they're really scared about, American first. Because if black people, Asian people see themselves as American first, they don't see themselves as a black American. They see themselves as an American black. It's a wrap for the Democratic Party, because they can't play identity politics. Because then if you go by the if you go by what benefits Americans, a lot of the things that Democrats push doesn't benefit Americans. How is giving $5 billion to an unnamed foreign source and don't know what it went, what it does, how it contributes any benefits to the American people? The only way a party can get away with giving away $5 billion to an unnamed foreign source is if we're too focused fighting each other. But we all unify under the identity as, hey, this land is your land, this land is my land. We gotta fight to protect it together, because at the end of the day, if America loses, we all lose. No matter of our vested interests, no matter if I'm black or white, if we lose America, we all got to find somewhere else to live at now. We all going to become migrants overnight if we lose America. So we have to do things that protects America as a whole. And instead of focusing on what unites us, Democrats focus on what divides us. Your skin color, your gender, right? I'm going to do a separate video on Chris Cuomo, right? But look at these people. Shifted. Oh, my God. Dictators are celebrating Donald Trump downside. The gaslighting not working the same, boy. The gaslighting is not working the same. And Democrats are not understanding this. Oh, dictators are happy U.S. aid is going down. But then Trump's shakeup revealed that they finance censorship and smear campaigns. This should infuriate every American. And it is infuriating every American. The more I find out about U.S. aid, the angrier and angrier I get as an independent voter. Because it makes no sense to me. How is you supposed to be an entity that's supposed to be, you're funded by taxpayer money, you're funded by the American people, but none of your outcomes benefit the American people. It only benefits your party exclusively. And then when you come out and try to defend this institution, people see it as nothing more than you're just defending your cash cow.
It's been robbing us blind. We've been writing checks, $6 million for tourism in Egypt. Like Egypt needs help with that. They have the pyramids. We should be spending money on cleaning up California so that tourists can vacation in California. $2 million to help the BBC value the diversity of Libyan society. We're bribing the BBC to cover Libya better? Why? $1 million for a gay group in Armenia. There it is. We paid $20 million for Iraqi Sesame Street.
You paid for this, guys. You paid for this. You paid for this. That's where our money's going to. How does that benefit us? Democrats can't tell you the answer, but they know USA aid we shouldn't be dismantling the government. We shouldn't be dismantling the government. But can't tell you what is the value for this stuff. This is the Democratic Party.
So I just want to go back, though. Would you be okay? Because it is unprecedented what Elon Musk is doing. I know you say it's not a surprise, but it is. I mean, we have not seen the world's richest man come in and go agency to agency with his staffers, they're all unelected, and have access to these sensitive programs. Would you be okay if Democrats did this? If a George Soros came in with his staffers and did the same thing that Elon Musk is doing? Would you accept that?
Well, what's unprecedented is spending our taxpayer dollars on left-wing partisan political projects all over the globe. That's what the American people are focused on. This is a result of this election. This is a result of President Trump getting a very clear mandate from the American people to give.
And it's not like he hid it from us. He was like, "Oh, look, I'm going to make Elon the head of government efficiency." And y'all mocked him. Y'all made fun of the group. I have videos. You can go back in time, find all my Doge videos. And I talk about how the left is mocking Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk and Doge and how it's not going to do anything, right? Especially when they cut the funding omnibus bill. When that was the whole thing. Liberals, leftists, y'all was mocking it online. Oh, it's not going to do anything. It's just going to be another agency and it ain't going to amount to squat. Now look at you. That sure aged well, didn't it?
Get rid of this kind of nonsense from our federal government, and we're doing it more efficiently than it's ever been done before. And again, the fury that we're seeing from the other side of the aisle isn't about this waste. It's not about paying for left-wing activism on the other side of the globe. It's that it's being exposed finally, and that's what the American people want.
Exactly. And I think I leave it out there. That's my final thoughts. Do you think the Democratic Party should heed John Fetterman's warning? Or you think they just doing, hey, they continue? I mean, it helps us. But let's think about it. Like, if we're trying to be fair here, you think the Democrats should be starting listening to John Fetterman? I think so. Because at the end of the day, if they don't come around, they're going to be seen as nothing more than obstructionists based merely on political ends. And in 2026, I want Americans to vote them out. Hey, Democrats, y'all do what y'all want. Let me know what you're thinking in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you feel so inclined. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.